Welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. So we got a jammy Cajun Southern kind of riff here to jam over today. And I'm going to move you in here in just a second to break this soloing stuff down for you. But real quick, the progression here is a 1-5 progression in E major. So we got E for our first chord, and then we're going down to a B7 for that 5 chord. Okay, and it's that, that Zydeco kind of rhythm, that Ico-ish kind of rhythm there. And your backing track will be the same one that I use to do the demonstration with. So that's our chord riff. And boy, talk about one that you can just really jam with, with a band or on a backing track or a loop or just, with a friend, playing rhythm or whatever. This is a great progression for just, kicking it with something to just, improvise over. So, move on in here and let's get going. All right, got you moved in here. So we're going to jump right in on this one. So kind of switch over into that, having fun and just jamming mode for this one. We'll mention a couple things about the theory and stuff, but I'm just going to show you some stuff you can do with this progression, and I think it'll kind of transfer over to a lot of other things that you play if you play these kind of Southern and classic rock styles. This stuff will show up all the time, these kinds of chord riffs. So one thing you do want to be really familiar with here and kind of warm up on, I guess, is that E major pentatonic. So just however you do your major pentatonic. There's a video on this channel, just so you know, called, it's in E too, is why I'm mentioning it. Called a 12 fret span for E major pentatonic. So basically, shows you that little system right there. And it's one of the most popular videos. So warm up on that. Also just your do, re, mi scale for E, your major scale. Right. And, you can just kind of wander around like that for a minute. Okay. So I threw in a couple little chromatic things. Here's something fun. Right there is one of the places you can put those chromatic notes in. Especially when you're going from the down to the B, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So it's kind of mixing that major scale, that do, re, mi scale, and the major pentatonic. Now, I do want to show you mainly this little area right here. So I just think that's such a rich sound for this. Let me just get this sound in your ear, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, so, kind of broke out of there after a second, right? And that's what you're going to be doing. But you want these kind of pressure points or these kind of areas where you know you've got some solid mechanics to really hang out in, and then you kind of build off of that. You branch out from that, right? So another one would be this area. It's actually the same notes as. Let's talk about this for a second. So let me slow this way down. So I'm bending up to a note that's the third of that E. And that's the root, of course. Okay, so you can slide up there. When you hit that one, that's the fifth for E. Okay, also happens to be the root of our other chord, right? Or you can bend that one. Now when I went to the B, when the progression switches to the B7, hanging out on that one a little bit more, that's the fifth for B. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry if some of this doesn't, if you're not used to that, like identifying what the notes are and in the chords and stuff while you're soloing. That's okay. But you do want to start looking into that, right? You want to slow stuff way down and do a little bit of analysis like this on your own. I don't want to just kind of, spell it all out for you at once, because it doesn't really help you. It just sounds like a lot of lingo, right? You got to do the investigation. But here's a great place to start. Put this on. You don't have to play fast. Okay. So that's one of the areas that you really want to kind of hang out and just get used to that maneuver. Be playful with your melody too. This is a fun progression, right? This isn't a big, heavy, psychedelic. I mean, it could be, I guess. But I picture this more as just like, a dance type of style, right? Zydeco, the Cajun. So this here, same notes as. So try to familiarize with yourself with that too. Now this is nice because it fits right into this vertical version of E major pentatonic. See that? That's really useful, and you can really hang out there. Okay. Now, some of that what I threw in there was just some triads where I'm playing, some chords. Sorry, kind of a crappy sound on that E there, unrooted, but just look around for different places to play the chords, and that can also help kind of shape, what area you're working from. This is really nice because when you put your index finger up here to cover that E triad, you're right in that. That just really works out in a lot of ways. So now, this is the part that's a little bit more abstract, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I'll just kind of mention the way that I look at it, go about it, and then give you a little example, and then get you to the practice loop. So we got these kind of, rocky, bendy, kind of grinded out areas, that are you're gonna practice, and then just don't be afraid to hit wrong notes, but just venture out of there and just kind of, even if you're going on one string or just a couple of strings, and kind of try to get into that major scale and look for notes for each chord that just sound cool to land on and hang out on. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's do it up here. Okay, so the phrasing on this is, I'm kind of deliberately kind of just right. It's sort of like with the rhythm, and that can get a little repetitive after a while, and that's why the stretchy, bendy stuff is cool. But at first, be really playful with that. Just kind of sing that almost like you're singing a nursery rhyme like that, right? Like with your guitar. Now, you see how when I put the bends in there, it went from being kind of to right? It got deeper. And so this kind of style, I think, really is up leveled when you can really add those bending and bluesy elements to it, right? But also, you want that kind of straight up, the accordion part or whatever. I mean, I like that. I like that dancey a feeling of the melody on the higher strings and stuff like that. And then you can also just kind of play rhythm along with your backing track. And you can weave that in with your single note stuff, right? So think diversity with this. This is a progression that you don't have to concentrate a lot on what the chords are, right? Once you get in that groove. So really focus your energy over into, your melody and kind of dancing with your guitar, right? And imagining, like, I guess, what it would look like if people were dancing, how your body would respond to that feeling or whatever. Try to get that kind of real synergy going with it. Have fun with this. Let me know how you're doing. Happy holidays to everyone. Talk to you next time.